Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of our Booster Club members for your many donations and much more, your prayers. We visited faraway countries and strange lands. We've even spoken to dignitaries and were detained for spreading the glorious gospel in Cuba. The truth is that the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel were scattered throughout the world. Help us on our journey as we continue to raise up the nation of Israel. 12 tribes worldwide. Join or donate today. Shalom.
Give me Hosea 7 and 8 real quick, because like I'll explain it to you. After your ancestors got raped, a lot of the children did come out different shades of color. They continue to use that to help that to be an astonishment and to push hatred among us. That's why if you notice, a lot of Hispanic and so-called black people, do we get along? No. Meanwhile, we went through the same thing. We still going through the same thing, bro.
Dominican Republic is one of the only places that slavery happened twice.
There you go. It happened on what? You know what's crazy? The only thing that divides that land is what? An imaginary line. Because, what's it called, I believe, Santo Domingo, before they conquered it. And now they conquered it, the French conquered one side and called it Haiti, meaning hell. And you got Portuguese conquered the other side. And Spain still kept the rulership on them. Right now, to this day, there's a lot of civil war going on. Meanwhile, they suffering the same oppression from the same enemy.
Right now, the book of Hosea, chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
So now Ephraim is the name of one of the tribes. But Ephraim was also the leader of the northern kingdom, which will cover Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, Zebulun. Because in our history, you ever heard of King Solomon?
Yes.
Okay, after King Solomon sinned, there was a split in the kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, we were known as the southern kingdom.
Right.
Ephraim on down was known as the northern kingdom.
Right.
The northern kingdom, they started going off into straight idolatry, and God stopped dealing with them. Matter of fact, give me 2nd Ezra real quick. Let me show you something.
Bring it out!
Because I'm going to show you, it's recorded in the Bible, how the northern kingdom came over here and how Christopher Columbus and other conquistadors knew to come over here. They didn't come over here looking for nothing else but your ancestors, because they read the Bible and found out how they got over here. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 30.
The book of 2nd Ezra, leave the multitude of the heathen.
So they decide, you know what, we're not going back with the southern kings. We want to go do our own thing in another land. Read.
And go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Hold the sound up for me. So they was going to take a journey into a further country, it says where never mankind dwelt. If you look up in your history book, it's called Arceus. This land over here that we know is north of South America, they called it Arceus because it was a land that no mankind ever inhabited. Keep reading.
That they might there keep their statutes.
So they wanted to come there because they said, you know what, we're trying to actually serve God this time around. Read.
Which they never kept in their own land.
Come on.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
So now the Euphrates, it's located, I know the map, you don't see the river, but it's located a little bit past Israel, over here above Arabia, right? Read it again, that part.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
So they entered into Euphrates River, right? And they started coming down the shore. Read.
For the Most High, these showed signs for them. And held still the flood.
When it says held still the flood, because when you go from river into a large ocean, it's rough water. So he held still the flood so the boats didn't capsize. Read.
Till they were passed over. For through that country, there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
So now they're traveling all around Africa, South Africa. This whole journey took a year and a half. And it put them in South America and in what we know as the Caribbean nowadays. Keep reading.
And the same region is called Azurus.
That's why they call that region Arceus. It was never called South America or North America. This is what Christopher Columbus read and knew. Slaves is over there.
That's right.
He understood. When I'm coming over there for slaves at the Guatemala. Because like I said to you, before all that took place in the 1300s, you had the sub-Saharan slave trade, where Arabs was buying, selling us into Tunis, into Algiers, into Tangier, and then you had Europe now getting involved in it, and they read our books and decided, you know what, we want to come over here because we know there's more Israelite slaves over there. Right. And even when they came, they brought Hebrew translators, showing you they knew it was Hebrew, it was Israelites speaking the language of Hebrew that was living over here. Keep reading.
Then dwelt they there until the, verse 45, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And that same region is called Azurus.
Come on.
then dwelt they there until the latter time.
So now it says they were going to live there until the latter times, meaning the last days. These are the last days. That's why your ancestors, they're living in these areas in these last days, right? So now in these last days, the conquistadors came against them, right? Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49. And I hope you're taking in this information. We're showing you that you're not Dominican, Alex. You're an Israelite. You're my brother.
That's right.
The only difference between me and you is when we got off of slave ship. That's about it. Right?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49.
So now in the last days when you were living in Dominican Republic, right? Read.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So now when you were living in Dominican Republic, a nation came from far because you had conquistadors come, right? Where the conquistadors from?
Portugal, Spain,
Right. On the other side of the earth, correct? They're coming from Europe generally, right? Read it again.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth.
So it says from the end of the earth because they came from the other side of the globe, right? Go ahead.
As swift as the eagle flies.
So now God said as swift as the eagle flight. Portugal, do you remember what their symbol was? They used to use an eagle or falcon. What symbol does America use today? An eagle. When you check back history, even Rome, they used to use the eagle. God is showing us a sign that oppressor that was coming, he would have the symbol of an eagle. The eagle is a bird of prey. Read that part again. As swift as what?
As swift as the eagle flieth.
Because your ancestors woke up one day and seen white men on a boat coming off the coast. You understand? Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
That's how we know they brought translators, because if they coming over here and they don't understand their language, how can we communicate? You understand? How can we? Because when they came, their ancestors actually used to look out for them and take care of them. They felt sorry for them. You understand? So it says a nation whose what?
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
And when they came, they speaking Portuguese, right? That's why a lot of the Hispanic communities, they speak different Spanish languages, right? And like you live in South America, right? They'll speak, certain words might be a little bit different from Mexicans, the way they speak. Certain words might be different from Cuban and even Dominicans, but it's the same oppressor. So when they brought that language, they force-fed that language onto the children. You understand?
Right.
Keep reading.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
Now, I want you to look at this right here. When they chopping off hands and limbs for that gold, they did that to young and old alike.
Bring it
How
out.
old are you, Alex?
just turned 18.
Just turned 18. You'd be out here getting your hands chopped off.
Right.
If you had a little brother that was 5, 2, 3, they'd be right out there picking the cotton, picking the produce, picking the gold and everything, bringing it to the conquistador. And if you didn't bring enough value, he would have a fierce countenance and chop off hands and limbs and everything. Matter of fact, give me Hosea real quick. Come back to that.
Bring it out!
Hosea chapter 13 and verse 15. What I'm showing you, Alex, the Bible is our history book. The problem is the book has not been taught to us correctly. The Bible's been taught to us that God loves everyone. All you gotta do is have faith. But we fail to realize that we're the people of the book. And the reason why we're going through all these things you see in front of you is because our ancestors sinned and we're born into captivity.
Bring it out.
Read that real quick.
The book of Hosea, chapter 13, verse 16.
Bring it out!
Samaria shall become desolate.
Now Samaria was where the northern kingdom primarily used to live at, back then during the time of Solomon. Come on.
For she hath rebelled against her God. They shall fall by the sword.
They shall what?
Fall by the sword.
That's what you see happening right here to your ancestors. They were falling by the sword. You have Hernan Cortez used to come over there, right? You have Alvarado. I'm not probably jacking up some of the names. But they used to come over there and read that part again. They shall what?
They shall fall by the sword.
When he came, look at the sword in his hand. He was forcing them into what? Into slavery. He actually forced Christianity upon your people. You understand that? They came with Jesuit priests. And when they came with Jesuit priests and they forced Christianity on the chieftains, that they was calling the leaders of the community. The chieftains said, listen, if that's heaven, I don't want to go where y'all brothers is going. You understand that?
Yeah.
Because they killed them if they didn't bow down to the cross.
That's why sometimes we always think that it's because the natives were trying to hide.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even Santeria, it's witchcraft.
Yep.
It's witchcraft. You know, you can put that down. Even in the Caribbean, all the Caribbean practice voodoo. With Haiti, the other side of the island, they practice voodoo. Same thing. Even Benjamin, the so-called West Indians, they also practice the same thing as well.
It's Juan.
How you doing, Juan?
Savage.
What we out here to do, Juan? We out here to what we doing with young man, Juan? All these things we know is our history, right? Black and Hispanic history. Juan, we ain't never recovered since these days, Juan. That's why a lot of us is having problems in our households. That's why a lot of our women don't listen to us. A lot of our children are rebellious. Because our children don't listen to us, our women don't listen to us, because we've been oppressed and we can never have a solution. We don't even know why we get no Christ. We don't even know why we got all these. You own this land. This land is your land, from New Mexico all the way to California. Absolutely, absolutely. But what happened to the land? What happened to the land? They stole it. Go back to 2049 real quick. Santa Biblia prophesied that stuff would happen to us. You understand that? But we never been taught the Bible correctly. We were force-fed, like I was telling my young brother Alex, Christianity. Christianity ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. Right. If I ask y'all, what color is Christ? You said nobody knows, right? What color is Christ? He's depicted as black widow. Not an actual Bible. Now, I'm going to show you something. The Torah, that's just the first five books of Moses. That means the law. That's all that means. But I'm going to show you, Christ is depicted in this book. And he is depicted as black. But when they came with the Jesuit priests, they force-fed this on them. That's when they started force-feeding Christianity. That's nowhere in the Bible. Right. Nowhere in Santa Biblia. And Juan, guess what happened if you didn't want to take on this image? What you think happened? You were killed. Right. Revelation 13:15, and then let's get the image of Christ. Revelation 13:15. What we coming out here to show our people, Juan, is why we under the conditions we in, and what we got to do to come out of these conditions. You understand? Revelation 13:15.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
So when the conquistadors, the Jesuit priests came over, the power they had life to give to the image of the beast is by force feeding Christ on you. The power they got is if you take your phone and type in Jesus, what color comes up? A white Christ, right? Meanwhile, like you said, in the Bible itself, it ain't talking about no white Christ, right? That's the power they got. All the movies they come out with, Passion of the Christ. What kind of image do they put? A white image, right? Their image is to help people mentally enslaved. Right, now you praying to them for help like they got. Right. Read on.
That the image of the beast should speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
You see that? If you didn't want to worship that image, the false image of the beast, you got put to death. Look what they're doing right now to your ancestors. They got him on a cross, about to burn him alive at the stake. All because you don't want to bow down to no idol. You understand that? All because you don't want to take on Christianity. Right. Now, when they did that to the chief men in the neighborhood, how you think the other men, what you think happened to the other men? They bowed down and started doing it because they didn't want to die themselves. Now give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 49. Say his son just came out of the army, right? So now, you say he died out there?
No.
Okay, just came back last week. Now, he put in all that work for this nation. Give me Lamentations 4:17.
Bring it out!
Because I understand the pain a lot of our people feel because we're figuring over here, we're trying to make the best of it, right? But I'm going to show you, God already prophesied, they're not going to care about nothing. We serve our country. During the Vietnam War, they served their country bravely. When they came over here, what did they do? They called them niggas, all type of derogatory names. They came back here into poverty. Right. No benefits for putting their life on the line. Read that real quick.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help.
So it says, our eyes, we have failed for our vain help. Vain help means it's fake help, it ain't real. We go to them, right now we marching to them. I see a lot of, we was in Atlanta the other day, I saw a lot of so-called Mexicans, they were marching saying, give me my child. Because a lot of the children right now, they got them locked up in them warehouses and stuff like that. All because they're saying their parents is illegal. Right now, even if the child is born in America, they're not even consider him a citizen. Right. Meanwhile, this is the land they stole from us. Read it again.
As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help.
For our vain help, read.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
This nation can't save us, Juan. This nation can't save us, Alex. This nation never came over here to save us. This nation came over here to conquer and to rule us. You understand? So now we put our children into their military figuring, you know what? Things have changed. You know what? I want a good life for you, right? But what happens? We've watched for them and they failed us. They don't help us not in the least bit. Right. They got to come back over here, like you said, and get disrespected by this white man talking about get back, calling you wetbacks, kicking you out of the country. Meanwhile, this is your country that is ancestors. Right. You understand that? Keep reading.
They hunt our steps.
They do what?
They hunt our steps.
Aren't they still hunting our steps to this very present day? You know how many Latino people and black people get gunned down on live television and no justice comes out of
Bring
it?
it up.
Right.
How many black and Latino people, we go vote, we go march, and we get no help, no saving? God is trying to tell us, Juan, these people are not for us. They're not trying to help us. You understand, Juan? Give me 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. I'm going to show you a solution. I'm glad that your son got to come back home. Now you need to tell your son you got to come out of that thing. You understand? Because when the time comes, when the third war comes, guess what? Them nations ain't going to care about you. You understand that? The nations ain't going to try to help you. They're going to keep disrespecting our people. That's why we got to gather together amongst us as Israelites.
That's right.
Read what you got.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 17.
Come on.
Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord.
See what God said? He said, come out from among them. You know how we come out from among them? Stop practicing 4th of July. Stop practicing Veterans Day, Memorial Day.
Right.
Why, they ain't got nothing to do with us.
Right.
You know, those are the days they celebrating this. Independence Day, they celebrating conquering us.
Right.
Veterans Day, they celebrating conquering us. Memorial Day, they celebrating conquering us. Even on, what do you call it, the Spanish-American War. They celebrating conquering us.
Bring it up.
Read it again.
Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord.
God said we got to be separate. You know how we come out from among them? We got to start learning our laws that we're supposed to be doing, our customs.
That's right.
Nowadays, our custom seems like it's just music and jumping around the place. You understand? Or just food. Our custom is bigger than that.
That's
Our custom, like today. Y'all know what today is? What's today? Huh? Today's specifically. Today's what? Saturday, right? And it's the 7th day of the week, right? What is today to the Israelites? A day of rest. What did God call it? The Sabbath day. How are we supposed to keep the Sabbath? What else we got to do? I'm going to help you out. Exodus 20 and 8.
Bring it out. Exodus chapter 20, verse 8.
Because it's not so much about staying inside your home, because back then, under Moses, we had to stay inside our home. Matter of fact, I'll show you. Exodus 16 and go to verse 28. Back then, he told us, Juan, don't go nowhere yet, Juan. Come in, come in. I'll give you a bottle of water. Grab a bottle of water.
No, from there.
That's your cooler? No, we're going to give you a bottle of water because I don't want you to buy and sell today, because that's one of the laws of the Sabbath. I don't want you to buy and sell today, Juan. That's a sin according to God.
Right.
That's what we're about to go over right now. Read what you got.
The book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 28. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See that for the Lord hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he given you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days.
Right.
Abide ye every man in his place.
So abide ye every man in his place, because when he gave us the bread, some of us decide, you know what? We want to go out on the Sabbath to go find some food to go cook. You understand? That's why Moses and Torah said, stay in your tents. You understand? But give me Leviticus chapter 20, verse 1 now. We're going to come back to Exodus. But now, once we was established in our land, we was told to wholly convocate on the Sabbath day. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1. Come on.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which he shall proclaim to be a holy convocation.
A what?
Holy convocation.
A holy convocation. Holy means separate, and convocation means gathering. It is a separate gathering. Because the Sabbath day ain't for everybody, it's only for the Israelites. Read.
Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done.
So 6 days we gotta work. On the calendar, we know the first day of the week is Sunday, right? So from Sunday to Friday, you can work. Read.
But the Sabbath is the Sabbath of rest.
So the 7th is a Sabbath of rest. Rest from what? From your labor, from your everyday work. Read.
And holy convocation.
And it's a holy convocation, meaning it's a holy gathering. So now, once we establish in our land from back then, we're supposed to come together. That's what people refer to as church, right? We're supposed to come together on today, the Lord's Day, and wholly convocate, communicate with like-minded Israelites. That's keeping God's commandments. Read.
Ye shall do no work therein.
You see that? That's the rest he was talking about. No servile work, right? So now, let's say that you want to get something to eat on the Sabbath day, right? How should we go about eating on the Sabbath day? Now let's go back to Exodus chapter 16 and verse 23. This is going to go back along with why Moses said to them back then, stay in their tent. Exodus chapter 16 and verse 23.
The book of Exodus chapter 16 verse 23.
Come on.
And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord.
Right.
Bake that which ye will bake today.
So now, Today's the 7th day. So from yesterday before the sun went down, you prepare your food that you're going to eat today, right? So Moses told them, listen, you're going to bake and cook all you want to eat, right? On the 6th day, because you're getting ready for the Sabbath day. You understand? Read.
And see that all you will see.
And boil what you want to boil. You want to make you some soup, whatever it might be. Read.
And that which remaineth over, lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
Right, we call that leftovers, right? Or even today, if you want to make a cold sandwich, that's not a sin. Just don't turn on no fire to go cook. You understand? That's where you're breaking God's commandments.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC.